the FCL. I heard Tobey Maguire is going to be joining the FCL.
I heard Andrew Garfield is joining the FCL.
It's weird. I heard Tom Holland was joining the FCL.
They're all going to be a part of the FCL. Who do you think is going to be the bigger challenge?
I don't know. Don't tell Brad that we're talking about this, though. He's going to kick us out.
Yeah, he's not going to like this publicly leaking out that all 3 Spider-Men are joining the FCL for like a Spider-Man like exhibition match. I think I would do really good, but I don't know how I'd do against like actual Spider-Man.
Oh, crap. We're live.
Oh,
You didn't hear anything.
Nothing at all. Nothing.
What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? We're the Cinefanatics. Welcome to the Tagline. My name's Chris Adams.
I'm Robert Adams.
And I'm Tori. Rose. Tori.
Tori does have a last name. Tori is just going to be like the Madonna or like Sinbad or...
What's the roommate's name in Last Night in Soho? Like Janaea or something. Jocasta.
Well, that's actually a name for like another like Ultron robot in the comics. So,
there
you go.
Like the female Ultron is Jocasta, which is based off of some Greek something or another. Whatever. We're not the Greek of fanatics.
Frog.
What are those pills? They are frogs, guys.
If you ever start a question with Tori, what are those? It's a frog.
It's perfectly packaged. I'm sure for Christmas I'll get some more frogs. Hint, hint. I got these guys last year.
Nice.
And some other ones.
I know who she's talking to. Anyways, guys, welcome to the Tagline. It's a show where the tagline is the title. I like saying that at the top of every show because I'm just still so proud of it. How long later? We're almost 2 years yet of this stupid show.
In March.
Good
2
Lord.
years of March.
Good Lord. Guys, if you want to chime in, have anything you want to say, want to comment on any of the news stories we talk about, have any questions, anything at all that you want to say at all, there you go. Streamlabs.com/cinefanatics. You don't need a tip. And then if you want to support us any other way, I know I'm like firing on all cylinders right now tonight. Here we go. If you want to support us another way, you can do it over at patreon.com/cinefanatics. We're doing all sorts of crazy things over there, including we've got our Discord. Finger guns. We got our Discord. We're doing movie watch-alongs, which we have one to talk about here in a second. And we're doing all sorts of other stuff. We're doing trivia nights, all that. So come hop on board our Patreon. Come give us some support, please. And we'll have some fun over there for sure. Yep. What's coming up?
Let's talk about that watch along real quick. Yeah. So the watch along that we had announced that we will be doing the watch along for King Richard. It's a new movie coming out at the end of this month. It will be on HBO Max and in theaters, and we decided we will do our Patreon watch along of King Richard. It comes out on the 19th, and that was our plan, was to do it on the 19th. I'm saying this in past tense because we have since changed those plans due to bad scheduling on our part. Something else was already planned for the 19th, and oops, we forgot. So the King Richard watch along will now be the following Monday, the 22nd. At the same time, the 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. Again, the plan for this is it's going to be on Discord. So we will not have a YouTube interface with this. We're all patrons, all will be on Discord. I don't know if we're able to share the movie in Discord or not.
We'll find out.
But if you have access to HBO Max, you'll be able to watch it. But at least we'll be able to, everyone who's watching will be able to say something and chime in with their thoughts instead of like waiting for us to see your comment on the side here and hopefully click on you saying stuff like more frog or frogmas or Merry Frog Christmas. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, so that's what's going to happen. So King Richard watch along will be Monday the 22nd, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern.
Oh my gosh. Getting so much closer to spectacular. What else is going on this week?
Let's talk about like some upcoming shows. One in particular. So first thing I wanted to talk about is this coming Friday in 2 days, there will be Disney Plus Day. Those unfamiliar with this is a big like DC fandom type of event. I don't know why I'm like waving at the camera. Y'all can't see me right now.
But we can.
Like, I know y'all can below, but so this is like the big like announcement day stuff coming out. There was a lot of good announcements like last year. Like last year was just full of like tons of things, like the Lightyear movie,
last
Sister Act
year
3, and
so last year wasn't a Disney Plus day. Last year was the investor meeting, so that was all Disney. That was big movie announcements. That was everything beyond just Disney Plus. So this time around, we're just doing a Disney Plus focus, it seems.
Yeah. So with so many announcements, and just unfortunately, we probably won't have time to talk about them fully on Tagline next week. So we have decided that we are going to return a fan favorite show that we do on here. So this Saturday, we will again be revisiting The Marquee. And instead of the horror themed Tears for Fears, it is now known as The Marquee Mouseketeers.
Haha, the puns are alive.
We will be tier ranking pretty much most of the announcements from Disney Plus Day, or at least the ones that we feel are relevant to us. Like if they're going to announce like they're changing the butter flavoring at the Disney parks, I don't care. But anything involving like movies, TV shows, stuff like that.
That'd be a really weird announcement for them to make for a Disney Plus Day.
It would, but I mean, I needed to find a quick example off the top of my head, so that's what I went with. Just go with it.
More realistic example would be we're probably not going to rank a Turner and Hooch season 2 announcement.
Oh yeah. Especially because we haven't watched the first season. And anyways, so that is happening on Saturday. This coming Saturday. Same time, 10 or 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. That one, I believe, will be just the three of us.
Nice.
No special guests on that one.
Yeah, I'm the special guest this time.
In the future, though.
Yes, yeah. So that's why I called it like the Mouseketeers, because we will be revisiting Disney rankings in the future. So.
Yep. That is so far also not the only tier marquee planned for this month, but we will give more information as we get closer to when the second one is happening. So,
or if anyone starts noticing when we covering what movies we watch, they'll start figuring it out,
which should be fairly.
Well, that'll be here in a second. The other thing I wanted to cover real quick on upcoming shows. We do know a Hawkeye TV show poster was released today, saying there's going to be the premiere on November 24th.
2 episodes.
Yeah, it's a 2-episode premiere.
So I wanted to bring this up just because typically we did Marvel TV show reviews as their own show. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time.
Disney didn't plan this one out properly for us.
Yeah. They're going to do, that's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's the day before Thanksgiving.
And then the following Wednesday is the night before we leave for the Schmodown Spectacular.
Yep. So that's 3 episodes that we wouldn't be able to hit in their own separate stream
out of a 6-episode season. So that's half the season that's going to be a gigantic pain to get to if we were doing its own show. So we're not going to do its own show. We're going to do much like we did with What If. We will be quickly covering and talking about the episode on the Tagline. So
sorry if you guys wanted a longer show. This is unfortunately just how it has to happen this time.
Look, I tried calling Disney and asking if they could move that away, away from that day and like make it so we could plan our schedule around it. And it was funny. They didn't even say any words. All I heard was a whole bunch of laughter. They were just like,
what surprises me about this fake scenario is that he went with I actually got a hold of Disney part.
Yeah. Hi, I want to know where I can talk to who's ever in charge of like schedule planning for shows.
Can I talk to
sure,
Mr.
random
Marvel?
Mr. Marvel.
Please?
Is Mr.
Also,
Disney there?
Fun fact, if I was just quiet because when we started, I was like, oh, and I went to type something on my laptop and it was like 1,000 degrees. So you probably shouldn't keep your laptop on a bed. So that being said, Streamlabs and donations in case I need to get a new laptop. I think she's cooling off. I think she just shouldn't have been on a bed. I think I was blocking her fan. I think she needs to breathe.
So like I have the light that's back here that's pointing at the wall.
Mhm.
It's laying on my bed with the light focusing on the wall, and that thing gets super, super hot after we're done with these shows. So
yeah, her fan is going full speed, which is not typical.
Ain't nothing in my room hot but me. Anyway, what's next? What are we talking about next?
Personal stuff.
I covered that already.
I got a Hawkeye figure.
Oh,
Ooh. I got a Christmas job.
Ooh.
I got a Christmas job to make extra money for the holidays. It's a giant Christmas thing. Apparently I'll be serving hundreds of thousands of people. So
Well, have fun.
send in donations so I can get a new laptop and Christmas accessories for this thing. So I'm excited. I love hot cocoa.
You got to deck out in the Santa hat.
Yee, good Santa hat, like one of the light up ones.
Get festive. Ooh,
The light up ones. It's just a Bluetooth connected to your phone.
Yeah, Santa hat.
Will it play the Mariah Carey song at a moment's notice just by you saying, "Hey, whatever AI system is running this hat, play the Mariah Carey song that I'm going to hear right after."
I'm 100% gonna lose that battle. Considering that they play music at this thing, so I'm gonna guess. She'll be coming up a few times.
I can just see you handing a cup of coffee to a customer, like, "Oh, song's playing," and then try to quickly run out of the store.
Her song is definitely going to play during the show. So,
yes,
yeah, it's a Bluetooth headset. So you're like, Alexa, jingle my bells, and then
Alexa, cool my laptop off.
I hope that hits somebody. Somebody's watching and they have an Alexa device, and she just started playing Jingle Bells for somebody just now. Yeah, not too much else going on the personal end over here. I, doing some good work on my own outside of the Cinefanatics field. So really excited about things I'm doing. So there's that.
Videos.
But a lot of videos, a lot of time sitting in front of this computer.
Chris and I did see a dinosaur on Sunday.
We did see a dinosaur. I tried to do my great impression of the Jurassic Park theme, but for some reason it just wasn't coming out clear enough. I don't know why.
What type of dinosaur did you say it was?
It is a diplopotamus. It's
a cyndaquil.
Say that again.
It's a diplopotamus.
That's not what you said the first time.
I may have added an extra vowel.
Then syllable.
Bulbasaur.
It's a Bulbasaur.
That's a Pokemon.
It always comes back to Pokemon. Look, when you got the two of us on this show, you're gonna get a Pokemon reference every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And me trying to guess if it's a Pokemon reference or not.
Did you see there was like a post that was like it was something like a truck fell over and a bunch of Pokemon and antipsychotics spilled out. And you're supposed to tell a Pokemon apart from the psycho medications, and it's like Celexa, Cyndaquil. It's like you're really good magnesium.
Iranium, Vaporeon.
Yes.
Side effects of Charizard may be vomiting, nausea, diarrhea. Please do not take Bulbasaur if you're pregnant or thinking about being pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God!
If your Venusaur lasts for longer than 6 hours,
please see a doctor or a Pokemon trainer immediately.
If your Voltorb itches.
Please go see Professor. What's his name?
Flying
Oak.
types when you just can't get up.
Sycamore.
What's the professor name? Professor Oak.
Oak.
I just said
Yeah.
oak.
Oh.
Oak, sycamore,
Elm.
elm.
Oh,
all trees.
they're all named after trees.
Yep. They are. Willow.
Who's
Interesting.
the Hoenn one?
I think that's Willow. Birch. It's Birch.
This is what people are clicking on this video for. Like, seriously, y'all are talking about Pokemon, and this was our thumbnail.
I know. That's why we're talking about
important.
Pokemon.
There were some Pokemon leaks actually, so
Anyways, let's get to what movies has everyone watched. Those of y'all in the chat watching, what movies have y'all watched over this past week? Let us know if you recommend anything. Tori, what have you watched?
I haven't seen it in a few years, but I actually watched Django Unchained by Quentin
It's a good
Tarantino.
movie.
I really, really like that movie. It's definitely my favorite Tarantino's Kill Bill. I count Volume 1 and Volume 2 as one, but if I had to pick, I love Volume 1. But Django Unchained is just satisfying. Like, I mean, it's so hard to sit through a lot of it. Like, they go full force with Leo. I mean, Leo, like, is in that character. He's such a creep. His sister's his wife. Besides him being racist, there's just, like, levels of wrong. And when you first meet him, that scene, I don't want to spoil it, but, like, he's just so heartless. It's just a satisfying movie. I love Tarantino. For when I just want to watch a fun movie, and I'm like, let me put on Pulp Fiction or Django, and I will. Okay,
It's a fun movie.
Fun movie, fun horrible movie. But I will say the scene that always gets me, that I think is just a classic, is the hood scene, where the KKK are trying to kill him, and like he makes them just so stupid, and they're like, I can't see anything out of this dang bag.
Who cut the eye holes? My wife spent hours cutting all these eye holes and all of these hoods. Y'all should stop complaining. Like, it turns into a comedy for like 3 minutes.
Yes, and
like just slapstick comedy.
We can all agree the bags were a nice idea. So no bags this time. Bags next time. It's just so like ludicrous. And who's that? I'm sorry, I'm bad with acronyms. It's Christopher Waltz.
Christoph Waltz.
Christoph Waltz. He's fantastic. I mean,
it's so weird how like Adams.
He's so
Not to be confused with Christoph Adams.
Christoph Adams. Yeah. Well, it's just so weird how mesmerizing he is in Django, and then how like menacing he is in Inglourious.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say bastards?
Inglourious Bastards, yes.
Oh, I'm allowed to say bastards?
Yes, we could say bastards.
Okay. Well, like the contrast there. I mean, he delivers like his lines so well in both, but like, yeah. So good movie. Good rewatch.
It's true.
Good time. Y'all saw Eternals.
We saw Eternals. We got a little bit of a review for you guys here in just a second. We're going to cover a couple other movies, and then we'll talk about that.
I would say, yeah. So me and Chris, we have like 2 movies that we watched for the first time over this past week. So we'll talk about both of those. Yeah, here in a second. I also was with Mr. Vernon Greene over on a fan's view of film favorites, which he's apparently now going to do a fan's view of A Comforter until it catches fire from the laptop overheating. Typically every Wednesday night, so that would be the same night that we do Tagline. Later on, he does a fan's view of film favorites over on a fan's view YouTube channel. Last week, they did Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2. I had seen Beverly Hills Cop 1, and I joined them for Beverly Hills Cop 2. It was very enjoyable. It was actually, I think it was better than the first one. And there was an actual.
It was delightful.
It was. I really enjoyed it. So I believe he's going to be doing that again tonight. Last I heard, I think we're looking at Bench Warmers and I forgot. What's the ice skating one? Is it Blades of Glory?
Blades of Glory, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the 2 we're doing tonight. I've seen Bench Warmers. I've never seen Blades of Glory, so I will very likely be joining over there.
Is that a John Heater double feature that is not featuring Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah, well, it's actually so he's doing a fan's view of film favorites covering movies by SNL cast members. So not necessarily SNL movies, so not like necessarily like Night at the Roxbury Superstar, Wayne's World, but movies that star the actors from SNL. So yeah, I'll probably be over there doing that. And then the two that we watched, so we both watched Hard 8, which is the first movie from Paul Thomas Anderson. Because for some reason or another, we feel the need to watch Paul Thomas Anderson movies. No exact reason, but there may be one coming up.
Considering Licorice Pizza is coming up at the end of this month.
Yeah, Licorice Pizza is coming out. So yeah, stay tuned. So yeah, we watched that. I think both of us really enjoyed that movie.
It was pretty good. It's a nice little movie, shorter than 2 hours. It is pretty easily digestible. Yeah, pretty straightforward. It has a nice little I wouldn't say it's like a big giant twist to it, but a nice little thing that comes out of nowhere. Little spice to it. I enjoyed it. It's not, I wouldn't say it's like gonna be anywhere near my favorite movies of all time list, but it was enjoyable. There was some good stuff about it.
I will say that is quite possibly the best performance I've ever seen from Philip Baker Hall.
Yeah, he was really good.
He's usually like a side character in a lot of stuff. He's not like a major main role, and he was like the lead in this, and like he really should be more of a starring role in more movies. So he's really good.
Oh, I see him.
Yeah, you've seen him like in a bunch of movies.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's one of those that you've seen multiple times before, but you just didn't have a name to the face kind of a situation.
He's 90 years old.
He's old now. Yeah,
he's also 5'6". Anyway,
this is so. Welcome to the Philip Baker Hall Fact Hour with Tori Rose.
Mm-hmm.
He's 90. He's 5'6".
He was in a movie called Duck.
I believe he has blue eyes.
I don't know about that.
Hazel eyes. And he likes his macaroni and cheese extra creamy.
Yes.
So moving on.
Yeah.
I gotta Google.
So we both enjoyed that. And then also the big one, we saw Eternals.
What's that movie?
Eternals.
What's it called?
We all saw it, but Tori saw it while she was sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to hear what Tori's thoughts on the movie are first.
Which is the most efficient way of watching that movie, by the way.
Can I tell you what my dream was and tell me if it was better or worse than the actual movie?
Yeah, I actually do want to know this.
There were some god people. There was some space stuff. At one point, I was in a ship flying around. There were some bad guys chasing us at some point. And I think at the end, we were all stuck in this room and there was a betrayal or something that happened.
That's exactly what happened in that movie.
Oh, almost.
Oh, get rid of it.
Get him out of there. No one look.
Thank you, Vernon. That was awesome.
No one look.
I don't think I've ever seen a bot attack that hard.
Was it just one?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Nobody paid.
Guys, we made
for
it.
Webcam.
Yeah, I know. When we're getting hounded by bots in the chat, we're doing a good job.
We've made it.
There's a reason to come watch us, and there's a reason the bots think that you should click on whatever crap they're shoveling in the chat.
We are the only ones you're allowed to pay to watch on webcam.
Well, for right now.
All right,
during
fine.
the show.
For these next for the next hour and a half.
Oh, sorry. This is a different direction. Never mind. So Eternals, guys.
Vernon's so happy. I finally got to time out someone.
Well, you got to go a step beyond there, man. I hope you banned that bot.
I blocked him.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, so a couple details off, but otherwise I think you hit the gist of what was going on in the movie there, Tori. Okay. Yeah, so this is probably one of the longer Marvel movies, not counting Endgame. And it's because they had roughly about 10 characters they had to introduce and have us get to know in the span of a little over 2.5 hours. You did feel the length. I know this one really felt the length.
Did you feel the length?
I felt the elbow every time.
Bonk.
Did you kick her out or did her computer overheat?
I kicked her out.
Oh, no. All I felt was my brother's elbow every time I would like start to fall asleep, and I would like. It's funny every time this happens, I like wake myself up the split second before he shoves the elbow at me.
Yeah, it's not because I want you to watch the movie and we have to.
It's because I went in the theater.
It's because you're disturbing everybody else who is still awake trying to watch the movie.
Yeah. Apparently I snore.
So anyway, for the most part, I like what they were doing with the movie. There's a lot that they were trying to pack in here. I know people threw around the word dense a lot. I understand that. I understand why they were throwing the word dense around a lot. Because there's a lot of characters who were doing a lot of things, and we needed to understand why they were what they were, why they were now where they were, thousands of years later, kind of a situation. Is this cryptic? I don't know. There was
no spoilers.
Yeah, because we're not doing spoilers on this one. There was just a whole lot of ground to cover in this movie, and so where I think this movie had a lot of downfalls, it's going to be corrected with like a sequel, provided they actually go for a sequel and don't hold to the Rotten Tomatoes scores. Because once you introduce the characters, then now you have the ability to do whatever you want with them in terms of story and whatnot, and you can.
Can I ask you an Eternals question?
Yes.
Okay, so are there any out of the 10? Is there a character or characters that you feel like you connected with enough that like you would care what happens to them later on? Because I do feel like with a lot of these intro movies, it's like that's also what I'm looking for. Is like not only do I enjoy the film, but like with Shang-Chi, I do want to see him interact with other characters, and like it makes me look forward to the eventual meetings, because I feel like that's the whole point, right? Is like we loved Iron Man and Captain America before we even got them together, and then they were together, and then we're like, whoa. So it's like I want to care about multiple people before we go into a bigger group. Also,
out of the main ones, I wouldn't say like
no,
there's definitely
a sign language. I saw that.
There's definitely a character in this movie, not one of the main ones, but there's definitely a character in this movie. I can't wait to see more of this particular character. Just to see. I mean, this character and another character, they were both shown at the same time. I want to see more of those two in other Marvel movies.
Am I right that two men made out in this movie?
It wasn't a make out. It was two husbands just doing a kiss goodbye situation.
Oh, okay. So that makes it worse that people on the internet made it seem like it was like
there was very a Marvel movie and they're kissing, so they must be making out. Like no,
it was a married couple kiss. Like I'm leaving. Bye.
Okay. Queer couples can't be romantic. They're always demonically. Anyway,
have a great day at work. See you later, honey.
Yeah.
So there's a couple characters in this movie I do want to see interact. Gemma Chan played Cersei. She was basically the lead of the movie. Her character is definitely one I want to see interact with other characters in the future, just because they actually did a really good job on her characterization. And then there's definitely room for some like other side characters who are going to get larger stories later on. I definitely want to see honestly, I want to see like all of the Eternals, kind of come back in some form or fashion, because I think there's definitely a lot to do with all of them. I really enjoyed, the internet's like going crazy about Druig and Makari's relationship, and I definitely want to see more of those two, because those two were pretty good. Definitely want to see more of Thena. It's Angelina Jolie's character.
You don't have to go through every single one of these characters.
I'm not going through every single one.
I still haven't said my thoughts yet either. Let's go.
I'm going to do this all night. So, yeah, I definitely want to see more of these characters.
There's like 50 of them you will take all night.
Anyway, I was answering her question. She asked a question.
I know, but you don't. Good Lord.
Shut up. Shut up and tell us your thoughts.
My thoughts. I love the diversity of this. I've said this before on other shows. I love the diversity, not only in like the ethnicity of all the Eternals, but also like we've got Fastus, who this is really like the first like major like LGBTQ type of character that's really like it's made sense. Like what was it? Is it Endgame? We got one of the Russo brothers played a gay man talking about going on a date with another guy, and that was it. And everyone was like, "Oh, cool, we got gay people in here, yay!"
For 2 seconds,
for 2 seconds, like you barely scratched. This one, we saw like a full-on regular like relationship, much like we were saying a second ago. Is that it really was like a "Hey, honey, see you later" type of thing. Like it felt like a real relationship, but it wasn't
the first like queer content that Disney has actually made.
No, I can't remember the other one off the top of my head, but it's not the first full on, but it is the first full on for Marvel in the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
But I like it because it wasn't done as in we've got to do this because the audience is wanting to see more representation. They did it because it makes sense and it was like a natural thing. So I love the way they did that. The things I didn't like about it, this movie was a lot of exposition, a lot of talking, not very much action. And that's why I was like kind of like falling asleep a bit. But yeah, like every once in a while there was like a couple of good action scenes. The storyline, it's all one big exposition dump. I mean, the whole thing is basically how they serve like the Celestials and whatnot. And that's about it for it. The only other thing, the cinematography was gorgeous. The way the movie was shot is great. Yeah. Chloe Zhao did a great job with it. And then the only other thing I ever harp about is the use of Pink Floyd's Time at the very beginning of the movie. I thought that was great. That it played that, and I didn't even know that song was in there. And I look at my brother, was like, "Is that Pink Floyd's Time?" I was like, "This just became like my favorite Marvel movie ever."
They got Pink Floyd. I wonder how much that cost.
Yeah, Pink Floyd music is probably not cheap. That's why they've only had 2 Pink Floyd songs in the MCU so far now. The other one was in Doctor Strange, the Interstellar Overdrive, while he's getting ready for his car accident at the beginning.
Tracks.
So, I mean, as far as it goes, it's a lot of people are saying it's pretty mid-tier in the MCU. It's not.
Definitely need to watch it again.
There's a lot of like really good existential type stuff, topics and thoughts that they're kind of diving into in relation to how those things work within the MCU. And it's definitely worth watching again for sure. For everybody out there who's tracking with the MCU, maybe you're not financially able to like run out to a theater or whatever. I wouldn't say that it's necessary you have to go see this one in the theater specifically, and unless you're like unless you're really into seeing movies on the big screen. Like if that's your MO, that's what you're about, then definitely go check it out in the theater. But otherwise, like there's no hurt. There's not going to be any hurt in waiting for this one to hit Disney Plus. I don't think they're going to really tackle much from it within the next couple movies. So you have plenty of time to wait for that.
I would say there's definitely some good shots to see on the big screen, but this movie also would benefit potentially, depending on your viewing style, or if you're like really badly ADD, ADHD, it would benefit from the ability to pause the movie, walk away for a couple of minutes, and then come back.
It's true. It's a long one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for it to be on Disney Plus. It's really hard for me to get interested in like mediocre movies. I'll watch a bad movie, but like if people are like, it was fine, it's like my brain goes out the window, and I'm just like, there it goes. So yeah,
it definitely feels like it definitely feels Dune adjacent to me. So
we don't want to go there. We don't want that heat. We don't want that smoke from me.
So yeah, definitely. If you want, I say wait for Disney Plus. But otherwise, I give this thing. What did I give it on there? I think I give it like 3.5. So what was that? I gave it about 6.5. I'd say about 6.5 stars out of 10. So it's pretty middle of the road for me.
See, I did what, 2.5. So was that 5? Yeah. 5 out of 10.
There you go. That's that's the official Cinefanatics review of Eternals. We usually would film one like this one separately, but time has not been on our side. So unfortunately,
I know that Pink Floyd song, Time.
Yep.
Fitting.
As we're nearing towards the end of the year, things are stacking up, and so we are not quite as able, especially as some of us are beginning new jobs and different positions within same jobs and whatnot. So, these things happen.
What are you doing,
guys? Appreciate you guys bearing with
Nothing.
Bearing with. Appreciate you guys. I'm gonna do this all night. Appreciate you guys bearing with us. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing.
Can you hear me when I'm in that dark place?
No.
In the dark place, in the sunken place?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
No, we can't hear you in there.
Speaking of sunken places,
ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is what's happening in your world tonight.
We apologize for the interruption.
Back to you.
We have to do it every time.
use the voice. Guys, let's talk about some box office because there was some shifts that happened. Obviously, a Marvel movie was released. So, can we guess what's number one at the box office this week?
Probably
Paw
not
Patrol.
that Marvel movie.
Paw Patrol.
It's not Paw Patrol. Why would you say that?
Because there's a sequel coming out.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
So, number one in the box office this week is not Paw Patrol. Godforsaken piece of trash. It's Eternals. Surprise!
That godforsaken piece.
That godforsaken piece of shit.
How much money did it make, Chris? I'm curious.
It made a little over 71 mil.
What did Dune get?
Last
67
week?
or something?
Yeah, Dune got around like the 60. So I mean, Marvel has that Marvel power, which is, hey, there's the word Marvel attached to it, so it's going to make a lot more money than something that doesn't have that word attached to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Eternals released with 71 million. Now here's the thing, because if we want to look at it compared to say like Black Widow, I think Black Widow released with like 49 million or something like that. The difference between the two is, I believe Black Widow had premiere access also.
Mm-hmm.
It was also June?
Like June, yeah.
I feel like we're in a different time, even with a few months.
It's true. Like even with a few months past, the whole like pandemic situation has been shifting more and more with each passing month. So we're starting to see more and more audiences coming out for movies in the theater.
We're about to be at the end of 2022, y'all. I mean, 2023 is going to be wild.
Did we skip a year already? Wow.
Feels like it, doesn't it?
We jumped ahead a year on Sunday.
We had 2019, and then we had a whole year of March 2020, and we skipped 2021. Now we're about to go into 2023.
Mentally, I'm still March 2020, so yeah, I agree.
I don't think any of us has ever moved on from March 2020, honestly.
I was 21 when this started, and I'm 23. I'm about to be 24, going through the 20s. In a pandemic.
That should be the title of the memoir.
Right?
In the 20s, in the pandemic.
In the panini.
In the 20s.
In the panini. in the panini.
Yeah.
Experiencing my 20s in the panini.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Eternals number one. Number two is Dune. It was number one last week. It's number two this week. It's beginning that trek downward. Number three, holding at that number three spot still, is No Time to Die. James Bond has staying power. He's going to be hanging in there for a minute, even though I believe it is now hitting, was it
Overseas
on demand?
Markets. Oh, okay.
You're not getting on demand for that. Number four is Venom Let There Be Carnage, which actually went up a spot. It was number 5 last week. So
because people want to see a better Marvel movie.
Stop it. Eternals is the better Marvel movie.
Okay.
By far.
Whatever.
Gosh.
That one had Venom and Carnage in it. You can't top that.
You can with Eternals. Number 5 is Ron's Gone Wrong. Number 6, raising up from that number 10 spot that it opened up in week before. I don't know. Time is crazy, guys. Number 6 is The French Dispatch. And
Did
then
it have a
number
limited? Did it have a limited release and now it's wide?
Maybe that might be the case.
Can I interrupt you, or are you almost done with the? I had a
Actually,
question.
yes, I believe it added like another 417 screens. So
Yeah.
Ah,
Can I ask a question?
yeah, go for it.
Did you see Elf of Jeremy's comment? I didn't realize Eternals was banned in several countries.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna talk.
We
about
actually that is in the list of things we're going to talk about tonight.
Maybe
so, yeah.
I should read the bullet list, huh? Yeah, maybe. Oh.
It's okay.
Well, anyway, Jeremy, I saw your comment and I was like,
I'm almost certain that if Jeremy Miller had access to the show notes for this, he would have seen that we were going to talk about that too, and he would just wait till later to bring that up.
Gosh darn it, Jeremy Miller, why don't you have access to our show notes?
Yeah. All right,
hasn't
anyway,
given you that
continue,
access?
Chris.
So here's the interesting one. Number 7 is Halloween Kills. That was at the number 2 spot last week because Halloween. Now it has fallen all the way down to number 7.
Halloween Kill?
It apparently Evil died that night.
Evil died.
Number
Evil
8
died
Check out
yesterday.
the Halloween marquee episode. Anyway, it's on YouTube.
It was a lot of fun, and then turned even more fun.
It was a riot. My sanity died that night.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen, man. It's not gonna happen. So number 8's a new release. Spencer opened at number 8 this week.
I still need to go see that.
Yeah, that's an interesting one that opened up pretty low. Which here's the thing, I didn't expect that one to open up too high. Most biopics I don't think usually have a big theatrical turnout typically, unless it's like, I don't know. It's got to be specific people that the biopics are.
Got to be like Freddie Mercury.
Well, so like this is also roughly. Well, it's a little bit later, but this is roughly around the time that Judy biopic came out as well. I believe it actually came out like at the end of September, beginning of October, the year it came out. But
yeah,
I mean, this is kind of something that's like up the alley of that. So,
yep.
How did Spencer? How's it doing, review wise?
I don't know.
83% on Rotten Tomatoes. So it's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. So
it made a little over 2 million in its opening. So there's that. It's only had about
50% audience score.
It's only had about 996 screens. So there's that too. Then you got number 9 is Antlers, and then number 10 is Last Night in Soho, which has dropped from that number 7 position.
Has Antlers gotten good reviews?
Don't think so.
I'm not sure.
Well,
Last Night in Soho dropped that low.
Yeah, it dropped down to number 10.
Antlers is 61% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's usually about right with horror movies, I feel like.
Yeah, Halloween Kills for comparison, Halloween Kills is 40%.
Yikes.
Eternals is 47. And Venom Let There Be Carnage is 59, thus proving my statement earlier about it being the better Marvel movie.
Incorrect. That does not prove anything. Let's move on.
Thank you for proving me right. If someone would send me the hot toys of Venom, I would be much appreciated for that. No?
Anyway, let's move on.
I'm letting y'all simmer in this boat together.
Appreciate that,
we're on
Tori.
a boat and like y'all are arguing, and I'm just like,
we're on a boat.
That, Tori. So much. So much. Let's move on. We got some quickies, guys. Quickies. Those are the short little stories that you don't have all the time in the world for, but you want to just get it in real quick before you move on. So the first one is, I said it. Is Paw Patrol is actually getting a sequel.
Whatever.
coming out at the same time, I think, as Dune 2, or maybe that was just like a fun little meme I saw.
So the fourth John Wick movie's got its title.
Mm-hmm. And I can't pronounce it, even though
it is pronounced Haga Gaga Ku.
Wow, that is wrong. Are you
Haga
Ku.
Oh guys, we're gonna get canceled.
MAGA cure.
Guys, it's a different language. You're making fun of another language.
No,
This is literally how I encounter every word.
I'm making fun of myself and my inability to say another language. I'm not making fun of them. They're free to have their language the way they want it. I'm making fun of my inability to pronounce it.
So there was a picture released of the little goodie bags that you get on set for the movie, and that picture release showed that exact image. John Wick 4 Hagakure.
You get goodie bags on a set?
Yeah, you get goodie bags on the set. Little mugs and I don't know, whatever they give in there. I don't care.
I know, like the Thor Love and Thunder had like the T-shirts that had the logo on it or whatever.
Cute.
So we officially got our title for the John Wick 4. It looks like it's not been confirmed, I believe, by the studio, but I feel like it's confirmed by the.
So we unofficially got our official title for John Wick 4.
Do you know what language it's in? Is it Japanese?
It is Japanese. So
we're guessing it's taking place there.
Maybe
in the film.
So
they've had a lot of Japanese influences.
Yeah. So Hagakure is it's a book. It's a warrior code for samurais. So it's a book of like the samurai rules to be a fighter and warrior by. So that tells me that we're going to have like at least some kind of like samurai influence within the fourth John Wick movie, which is kind of an interesting idea, to be honest.
I haven't seen any of them.
Oh, they're good.
What?
I've heard something about a dog happens, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's the thing that sets everything up for Mr. Wick. Anyway,
what's his name from Game of Thrones would just leave the dog alone.
Just leave the dog alone, man. John Wick could have had a nice, calm life. Just left.
I know the actor is Alfie Allen. I can't remember what his character's name from Game of Thrones is. It's like Theon or something like that. Or is that one of the Eternals? I can't remember.
No, it's
They all sound the same.
Wow. So yeah, we got the official title for John Wick 4. Other piece of news here is that Patty Jenkins' Star Wars movie, Rogue Squadron, has been delayed currently indefinitely. It's been removed from the shooting schedule.
We don't talk about Star Wars here. Move on. We don't mention that name in this house. Move on.
So the reason for that is because she's got a couple other projects she's working on, including the next Wonder Woman movie and that Cleopatra movie, which I believe is also still supposed to star Gal Gadot.
Why can't we get a Cleopatra Star Wars Wonder Woman movie?
I mean,
that's the direction we're headed.
we got that movie. It's called Eternals.
Pretty much, yeah.
Essentially, more or less.
Just about as equally reviewed as 84 also.
Wait, let me check the notes to see if Mother spoiled something else. No, did y'all see? I just saw before we went on that I think Marvel's moving stuff in general, or Disney is, sorry, for Star Wars, because they moved Miss Marvel back.
Yeah, so Miss Marvel is also.
Did they move it, or did they just officially announce? I see, because I saw it was going to be fourth quarter next year.
I saw it's going to be, yeah. I think it's just moved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's.
So yeah, I think Marvel or Disney. I keep saying Marvel. I think Disney in general is shifting some stuff.
Yeah, that's normal too, because what it is they're doing like tests with like audiences and getting like marketing feelers and whatnot, and they're utilizing those numbers that they're getting back analytically to decide when things should come out and what part of the year.
Yeah.
It all makes sense, and I think we're going to get a lot of information about some of that stuff on the Disney Plus Day on Friday. So that we'll definitely learn about. So yeah, the Rogue Squadron getting delayed. There's a ton of Star Wars shows coming out next year too. Cassian, Obi-Wan, Book of Boba Fett comes out at the end of this year. We're probably going to get season 3 of Mandalorian. So there's all sorts of stuff happening Star Wars wise, so it makes sense if they want to also like, yeah, it's okay, we can delay this movie a little bit. So the next news story here is we've got Leonardo DiCaprio is in talks in what sounds like final negotiations. I can't say that word, negotiations, to play Jim Jones, which
can I give a quote later?
Isn't it the Martian Manhunter?
Right. No,
can I give a cult summary?
Yes, go for it, Tori.
So I don't know if y'all know, but I'm kind of weirdly into cults. I don't support them, but I find them interesting. Anyway, Jim Jones. I forget the year. It wasn't that long ago. Whole thing was he had a cult in South Africa with a lot of people. He was a white dude. And everyone knows him from specifically the cult are, they're a cult. They were a religious-esque cult. They were based out of Christianity. They rejected Christianity, but it was like connected to it. Anyway, Johnstown Massacre, you may have heard of it. But essentially he had 900 of his followers drink cyanide-laced like juice, starting with children, and 900 people drank it and died at his command. And their bodies were found laying in the grass face down. I'm just describing it this way because I feel like the movie is definitely going to show this, and it really happened. And he commits suicide. He shot himself. So I'm curious what kind of direction they're going to take as far as messaging. But overall, It's a very interesting story. It's very sad. There's been lots of true crime coverage of this. Again, I watch a lot of true crime. Lots of books about, family members of people who are in it. It's a really interesting take on what can happen when people follow someone and believe in them and, abandon everything else. And so I'm interested that Leo took it. I know we've seen him do different kinds of roles, and he hasn't really been pigeon-footed, but I do think this is something different even for him. I watched Django Unchained, and he's obviously like a ridiculous kind of cult leader, you could say. I mean, he leads a group of people who are very
with Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think this is a different kind of. This guy's more serious. I think Leo's always kind of charismatic and I guess jokey, right? Even in Django, you don't think he's funny, but he's very like cartoony almost. Yeah. Jim Jones seems like a very dark man, so who's not going to necessarily be as cartoony. So I'm excited to see it.
Isn't Jim Jones, isn't that where the actual phrase drinking the Kool-Aid comes from?
Yes.
So that was the idea. The phrase drinking the Kool-Aid is where you just blindly do something that someone's telling you, like they hand you a glass of Kool-Aid and they say, here, drink this, and they drink it. And
or like you obey someone regardless of what they do. A lot of time I heard it be used by like, if in the school district a principal was controversial and the teachers who followed them, they were drinking the Kool-Aid.
Now, even though I believe it was proven that they weren't actually drinking Kool-Aid, if anything, it was like Flavor Aid.
Yeah, and again, they all drank it, and the kids did, and he didn't. And that's always telling with these cult leaders. Like they always, except for in the UFO cult where they all commit suicide, usually the cult leaders like have their followers do something that they're not willing to do, and it just shows you how evil they are. So it'll be interesting. I think Leo can do it. I find it interesting he took this character for sure.
Yeah. He's gonna kill the role. He's gonna do a really good job at it for sure. The problem I have is I'm not sure I want to watch a movie about this story because
it'll be very dark for sure. You can't really make it light.
Knowing how it goes down, knowing how the whole thing ends, and wondering what part of his life are we covering, and are we ending the movie at where the story ends? Because that's some hard stuff. I mean, I'm probably gonna watch it, but still.
Do we know who's making this movie?
Not sure off the top of my head. Yeah, but let's go ahead and hit our next. News topic here before we move on to the headlines. We also have. Hey.
Yeah, Garth, feel better. Oh, sorry. We clicked it at the same time. Garth, I just saw that. I hope you feel better. I'm so sorry you're going through the health stuff you are right now.
Yeah, man.
We're thinking of you.
Hope you get better soon. Glad you're in a position where you can join us. That's good news for sure. So next story is we got Finn Wolfhard, who is one of the kids from Stranger Things, one of the kids from It, and one of the kids from Ghostbusters Afterlife. So he's one of the kids. He's one of the kids from things that are very 80s themed stuff. He is actually, can y'all believe it? The Stranger Things kids are now hitting 18 years old. He is 18. And as such, he is now officially an adult and able to direct his own feature film. I don't know if you have to be 18 to direct a movie, but I just think with like labor laws, probably it's probably frowned upon to try to direct a movie younger than 18. Either way, he's directing his first movie. He's working on getting it off the ground right now. His first feature, it is supposed to be a horror comedy slasher, and that's about all we know about it. The genre it's in, and that seems to line up with some of the projects that he's done between Stranger Things and Ghostbusters Afterlife. It feels about up his alley.
It's probably a remake of like Monster Squad, because that seems like something he could do.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But I find it interesting that he's taking on an entire movie by himself, like at his age now. Like that's usually you don't see. I don't know like what the record is for the youngest person to direct a feature length film is. Maybe
I was just Googling that. Oscar wise, the youngest person to win one was 35 for a director. But I'm Googling it. It says, is it legal for a child to be a director? And it says with the digital era, yes. I think in the past it was just like, your parents would have to agree to it. It was time, like you said, child labor laws. But I think, anyone can do like a home movie technically. And I mean, if you had the right audience, like,
yeah. It's difficult because like when you're looking at like a big feature film budget, they have a certain schedule they got to keep. And, so much money is allotted to being able to shoot each day. So if, you're under 18, they have to rework the schedule and it's going to take longer because so I think he would be one of the youngest feature length actual studio backing directors. And it's really cool to see him like take on that role at his age already, because that's doing nothing but career diversity for him going forward.
It kind of reminds me of Billie Eilish. Yes, I mentioned her again. She directs her own music videos, and I mean, she started to when she was under 18. So
wow.
And she's really talented. So yeah, I think maybe my Gen Z youth. I think they just get more exposure to what they can do, more options, more accessibility. Again, everyone has a camera like in their hands, and so I think kids, even with like people make fun of TikTok, but I mean, technically TikTok is a short form video. And so I think it does inspire a lot of kids to want to do film stuff and video stuff. So yeah, I think it's cool he's doing this.
Yeah, it's the greater forms of technology. People can discover things that they want to do, their passions and their career paths at a much younger age now than they have been before. So it's awesome to see. Anyway, was that quick enough for the quickies?
No, could have been faster.
Oh, well,
you need to work. You need to work on hurrying up and finishing faster.
It comes with time. You just repeated efforts.
Well, it needs to come faster, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, because you got stuff you got to do. You got to move on to other stories. So those quickies need to be quickie. Anyways, moving on to the next one that doesn't necessarily need to be quick, but it probably will be anyways, just because there's not much to talk about. So we know that John M. Chu is directing Wicked. Now we got casting. So we got it was announced that Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo will be starring in Wicked.
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 So apparently Ariana Grande is going to be playing Galinda, who becomes Glinda. I don't know why they do a name change, but whatever. And Cynthia Erivo is playing Elphaba, who becomes the Wicked Witch of the West.
Do y'all know the story of Wicked?
Yes, I've seen the musical.
I've seen
These
the Broadway
roles,
show in New York.
Yeah, these are roles originally done by Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel. So
Chrissy
got some big shoes to fill, with the exception of Kristen Chenoweth. She's a small person.
Chris, you'll like the story.
I haven't seen the musical, so
You'll like
it. Here's where I'm interested in this. It's the John M. Chu of it all, because the man did In the Heights, and currently that is my favorite movie of the year so far. So that is got my interest peaked. So
did y'all see that there's a petition online to make sure that James Corden does not get a role in it?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
That's
people are
hilarious.
tired of him. Yeah.
I feel like I think his comedy's pretty decent. I don't see anything typically wrong with him. I don't think he's like overbearing or annoying or anything.
I don't want
I feel like some story came out around the Ellen DeGeneres type stuff where he just doesn't treat people that great. Yeah. And then I think people just not betrayed him, but I think people just kind of abandoned him after that because they were like, if you don't treat people that great, and you like, I think there's a thing where it's like he has connections that get him into movies that he shouldn't be in. Like whether it's his agent has connections and they make deals or whatever it is. I saw a thing that's where a lot of the hate comes from is people see him kind of as like a spoiled, entitled man. But I agree with you. I mean, I used to watch his carpool karaoke videos.
Yeah, those were good.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to avoid being reminded of Cats, honestly.
Yeah.
So
we don't talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless Lola pops up, then we can talk about Cats all we want.
Talk about what?
But I think she's passed out in the living room.
Yes, for sure.
Let's talk about that Eternals thing real quick.
Well, so real quick, hold on. What did you think of that actual casting? Because between the two of y'all, because y'all know the story. I haven't seen the show.
I don't know how I feel about Ariana Grande as Glinda. That one I'm gonna need to wait to see like how she looks like in makeup, costume, and everything. I actually do like Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba. I think that's going to be some really good casting. Like a couple of things I've seen bits and pieces of her in. I think she's got the acting ability to pull off that role. She definitely has the look for it. Like obviously they're going to paint her face green like they did. What's her face in Guardians of the Galaxy? Gamora. Yeah. So they'll do that with her as well. But I think she's got the acting chops and the look. I don't know how her singing is. We know Ariana Grande can sing, but I don't know how
she can sing. Yeah.
Okay. Because she's gonna have to. There's a couple of songs in that musical she's going to have to belt out. Her doing "Defying Gravity," which is the show-stopping song from the entire musical.
Yeah.
That's going to be one that. Yeah, I want to see her singing chops on that. I would love it if they would like release like her like singing the song like in a studio first.
Yeah, I feel similar to you. I will say I trust Ariana Grande. She does have acting experience, even though people forget. I remember her being on iCarly a lot, and then she did I think like Victorious or whatever. So she has acting experience, and she's playing the Good Witch, right?
Glinda, yes,
yeah.
I mean, in the musical, she's kind of like a preppy high school character type
she's
thing.
So popular.
Yeah, so I think Ariana playing that makes sense. I think it's kind of self-aware to be like, I'm the hot, like, good one, and like you're kind of, weird, and I think that'll be fun for her to do.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with Wicked, it's basically Glinda and Elphaba as like teenagers type of. They're in high school essentially. The thing that's flipping this though is Glinda is kind of like that snobby, bratty, her nose up in the air type of like stereotypical teenage girl thing, while Elphaba, she's outcast because she's green, but she just wants to be liked and loved. And then, of course, y'all know eventually at some point this is going to flip where Glinda becomes a normal, level-headed person and Elphaba becomes evil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ish. It's kind of, it is along the lines of Maleficent, where you kind of side with like the Elphaba, the Wicked Witch, but she's not necessarily 100% evil type of thing. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah, that looks interesting.
Yeah. So moving on, let's actually talk about this story real quick. Eternal's not opening in a few different Middle Eastern countries, for multiple reasons.
Well, one big major one.
There's a couple reasons why it's not. So, I want to bring up the actual like news story here, so I make sure like I'm saying it correctly. So the fact that it includes the includes Marvel's first sex scene. The big one is it's Marvel's first sex scene and first same-sex kiss. These don't kind of fly with those cultures. And they're saying also its depiction of gods and prophets, which can be seen as blasphemous in some of the religions in those markets. So of those reasons, they were asking Disney to recut it or, cut some of this stuff out. Let's not have some of the stuff to show in these markets. And Disney was like, yeah, no, we're just not going to show our movie in your market then.
That's an interesting conversation. So we're talking about the essentially the art of the movie versus appealing to a certain culture. Typically, especially nowadays, if you were to say anything along the lines of, I really don't care about your culture or whatever, y'all could just suck it. We're not going to do that, whatever. Like, that is bad. Like, you would not want to publicly say that about anything about a person's culture. There needs to be acceptance. But at the same time, this is a piece of art that is done where more people are going to appreciate or understand or be okay with it than like a smaller culture. Where's that battle between? And like, especially it would have to be someone like Disney or Marvel that's at the forefront of this, because Disney could pretty much do whatever they want. And if you disagree with it, oh, well, you disagree with it. Just disagree. Like, it's really interesting topic there.
I also wanted to bring up, I Googled it, and I don't know if it's getting as much press, but it's also not being released in China. And the reason that I'm seeing in this article is because the director, Chloe Zhao, grew up in China and left, I think, when she was fairly young still, and was pretty outspoken about her disagreements with the Chinese government and like certain aspects of Chinese culture. So they're actually, from what I can tell, China's not planning on releasing it, which is a really big deal. It sucks, but the other reasons you just mentioned, it's unfortunately viewed as controversial for different things. I do think the queer kiss is probably more heavy than it's maybe being deemed to be. There are like in Saudi Arabia, it's like there are countries where it's still illegal to be gay, literally.
Yeah.
So it sucks. I do hope Disney sticks it out though and doesn't back down with these sorts of things, especially like the queer representation, the God stuff. I'm like, that gets a bit more complicated with like cultural views of things and religion. But it's like, Disney knew this would happen. And, they of course knew if they put certain scenes in like a sex scene, other countries, how they're going to react. They have people who track that. They probably have, people who are down like with the entertainment industry in those countries who know what passes and what doesn't. And so they obviously let it loose anyway. And I hope that they, just kind of stick it out, and hopefully, like China will let it release. I mean, that's a big price cut.
It is.
That might affect Disney's choices in the future for things.
I wonder how they do the research on that, though. Like, how do you know, like in these countries, we know the governments are basically banning the movie for that, but would the people of the country actually want to watch it still? For example,
probably tracking, like on our laptops, we get tracked. Yeah.
For example, like North Korea, we know North Korea has a lot of like bans on different forms of entertainment, but we've also heard from people that live from North Korea citizens that some of them are like, we want to be able to watch and absorb this content, just our government won't let us. Is that something that could actually be happening in some of these like Middle Eastern countries as well? Is that like, where's the leverage on this? If they say to Disney, hey, we're not going to show this movie unless you get rid of like the gay part of this movie, like Disney sitting there as of right now, they're like, well, okay, we're not making those cuts, so I guess y'all just don't see the movie. Like, Disney has all the leverage in there, but would they actually be making money off of it if it was released in that country?
I think that's another good question, because you have to weigh the cost of, okay, if they went back to actually make those cuts, how much time, manpower, and money is being spent in order to make those cuts versus how much money are they going to make in that market anyway. And I don't want to say that, Disney isn't sticking it out with the right thing and choosing to plant their flag appropriately. But it could also, there's also a world where it's a business move where it's like, it's just not cost effective for us to make those cuts. So we're just not going to play it in your country anyway.
Yeah. And you made a good point, Robert. And I think related to the WWE stuff, I think your argument stands that there are probably a lot of people in those countries who want to see this movie and don't feel the way that they don't want to ban it and they don't disagree with the scenes. And I think, evidence of that is that there are tons of WWE fans in these countries. That's why WWE wanted to be there. The arenas were full, but the government's mandated that the women couldn't perform was what they were trying to originally get, or they had to dress a certain way. Either way, though, if you have WWE fans in Saudi Arabia and these countries where they were trying to ban women from going, it means that those people are watching WWE when it is the women in their normal outfits and like fighting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
You have to assume that they're okay, that the populace is okay with it.
Yeah, if they're saying we want y'all to come here because we've been watching these matches for years and years and years, and we pay money for your pay-per-view and we really like it, that means they'd probably be fine if the women came in their usual outfits. Obviously, you can't speak for everyone, but I do think you have a good point that the governments don't always represent what people want.
I feel like I've heard this before.
And then
V for Vendetta? Yeah.
Also nervous saying that really was the first MCU sex scene. It's true. It's officially, like, in terms of how a sex scene can be defined.
Let's never forget when Captain America made out with his niece.
Let's try to forget that, actually.
There was what was that, Iron Man?
Yes,
the first Iron Man.
Yeah, I'm bringing that up. So there's an implied scene in the first Iron Man between Tony Stark and Christine Everhart. But
I remember that scene scarred me. I was 10. I was not ready for that sex scene.
And then Pepper comes in and is like, I gotta take out the trash the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That wasn't really a sex scene. That was just they jumped onto the bed and then rolled off.
For me, that was a sex scene as a kid. She had a bra on.
Fair.
They jumped onto the bed and then rolled off.
Yeah. Fair enough. So that's an interesting thing. It is what's really interesting about this news story is that saying elsewhere in the United Arab Emirates, Jordan, Lebanon, and Egypt, the film is actually going to open, but that version is going to remove the scenes of intimacy, whether hetero or homosexual. And they said it's a normal practice for those markets. So that sounds like something that's actually not under Disney's control. Like
they get a copy of the film and they edit it.
They're just making those edits themselves, which what are you going to do about that? I mean, Disney can be like, no, we don't want to show our movie in your market either, but I don't know.
I don't know. What kind of control do they have over it when the movie is like theoretically out of their hands? When it goes to a movie theater, what's to stop, especially since movies are usually all delivered digitally nowadays anyways, what's to stop someone who works for that movie theater to quickly like pop open, say Final Cut or Premiere or something, quickly find that scene, cut it out of there, stick it back together and just re-export it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have some weird jump cut probably in there, but.
Yep. So it's interesting world still with the different countries that choose not to want to show these things, and Disney, Disney's doing the right thing and planting their flag going, nope, we're not going to cut our movie. So you just won't get to see it. Sorry about you.
Yeah.
So we should move on to what our main topic of the night is. We got there, folks. We got there.
Ish. Not quite there yet. So hold on. One more thing before we get into the leaks. This week we did get the poster. I think this is like the first poster for No Way Home. So we were treated to this fine piece of artwork.
That was this week?
Yeah. That was like a couple of days ago. I know this has been like big news. So real quick, I do want to point out, just in case you haven't seen this poster or you haven't seen anyone else talk about this poster. Again, I'm motioning to the camera, even though you can't see me. That of course we already knew that Dr. Octopus is in this because we saw him in the trailer. We do see Green Goblin there in the background, which we kind of had a good idea he was in it also because we saw the pumpkin bomb in the trailer. We got a couple other things that are seemingly confirming some stuff, like Lightning. We knew Electro, that Jamie Foxx's Electro was going to be in this. Now that does look like potentially either smoke or sand that is being tossed up in the air behind Spider-Man. I would have normally thought smoke, given the Green Goblin's up there with the glider, and so the glider's giving off the smoke. But the smoke is not actually coming from that glider. And I think they did that on purpose. So very strong possibility this is going to be Sandman.
Nobody wants to smoke.
Yeah.
Smoke.
Was there anything else in this
Not really.
poster?
It's just kind of the 4 references there. So I mean, not a whole lot to go based off of. I saw
He's still on this bridge.
still on the bridge. That's the whole movie takes place on that bridge. That's it.
Yeah.
So
I bet you it's the
Interesting.
beginning and they just can't show the rest of it because
I'm still expecting like another poster is probably going to be revealed in a couple of weeks, and it will be the very very stereotypical Marvel floating heads poster with all the faces. This one's just probably going to be full of faces, though.
oh, I think
So-
they're gonna drop a trailer very, very soon. And then
I was almost assuming the trailer would be today. Like I thought it was going to be hitting like very, very soon.
nope, not yet.
probably during some football game because that's what happens.
Yeah, Sony likes to. Well, Sony currently likes to let their stuff get leaked all over the internet, get hacked
Yeah.
and leaked, and then they'll just release it whenever they feel like. And Kevin Feige's probably sitting back in his chair going, "I'd hate all this, and I wish I had control over all of this right now."
This
And
isn't
he's
the
probably
first
sitting
time.
back with a mimosa and
Yeah.
cheetah and
It's free marketing.
Mhm.
This isn't the first time that that Sony has really had to. Good job, Lola. Right on cue. This is the first time that Sony has had to deal with leakage around Spider-Man. There was also the leak during the Sony hacks.
Hold on. Can you do me a favor? Don't say the word leakage while your cat is doing that.
Leakage, Lola, leakage. Okay.
Wonderful.
There was also
Let a
like
girl
the
leak.
the Sony hacks by I guess like North Korea during the interview, all the issue with the interview movie. So there's been stuff that has leaked out about Spider-Man. Sony's not new to this.
Nope.
The question is how much of this is actually I will throw on the foil hat on this a little bit. How much of this do you think is actually really being done by Sony themselves?
There is a conspiracy in my head that Sony is doing this because this is saving. Everyone's talking about Spider-Man. This is saving so much on marketing, and after like the whole pandemic side of things, everyone's in the mood to save money on marketing because after all the who knows when we're going to release our movie and what day is it coming out, we're going to push it here, I'm going to push it there. Like, there's a part of me that thinks that there's a possibility that Sony could just be like someone's like clandestine, like dropping images over to certain news sources and pundits going, look, Spider-Man image just fell out. Oh no. Oh gosh, it's all over the internet now. Oh no. But
I don't think so. I disagree.
Small.
I think the fact that they've kept us on the effing bridge shows me that I really think that's the beginning of the movie. I think this is based on no knowledge.
The middle and the end. Oh, get them again.
Oh my! They're back.
We're back.
It's another one.
We have girls right here.
You don't
Right
need to
here?
click. You don't need to click to another website. We have wait, what?
There's
No.
one happening over there.
Lola's right there.
Lola's right there
okay.
giving us the show.
I
Anyway,
was about to say you asshole pointing at me.
No.
Okay.
Juvenile joke.
My theory, yes, Cat is here for the girls. So my
Cat.
theory is that what was I saying? Oh, they're on the bridge. I think the beginning of the movie is literally Peter Parker and Zendaya are making out how we saw in the trailer, blah blah blah, and she's like, "Wow, you're Spider-Man, haha, so funny. We're all both quirky." And then very soon into the movie, he's like, "F." Something starts happening, and I think we go right into chaos with villains on a bridge. And then I think he goes to Doctor Strange and he's like, ah. And Doctor Strange is like, ah. And then it just gets worse.
And then they go back to the bridge and then.
Maybe. But I do think the bridge is the beginning. And what I'm saying is I feel like they've kept us in a very specific setting because they didn't want this stuff to leak, at least not unless it was in a trailer. I mean, they showed Spider-Man in a trailer when he was introduced in the first place in Civil War. Obviously that was like still more Marvel than Sony. But I personally think that they were going to probably drop some stuff in a trailer very, very, very soon. If they're showing this stuff in a poster, I'm going to say they're probably going to show a little more in a trailer. I don't think they wanted this to leak via some weird Photoshop photos on Twitter. That doesn't show everyone it. I didn't have Twitter until a few months ago. I think they wanted to drop it in a trailer. Now there's more attention on the people who leaked it, like celebrity-esque, more so than I feel like there is conversation about the actual content, because a lot of people, like even in the film Twitter space, like people that we love in the Schmodown, who don't want to see the photos because they're like, this feels weird. So I don't think it was intentional. I think that someone made a mistake. It got leaked. Again, there's more people's hands on this. There's a lot of actors, seemingly. There's a lot of pressure on this movie. I don't think it was intentional. I think the bridge is my evidence of that. I think that they were keeping it at like one scene, like this scene and the posters at this scene, and we're going to show you more because the rest of the movie we can't show you anything from, because if we show you some screenshots from it, it's going to spoil things that we don't want to show you yet. That's my theory. It's like Endgame. They didn't show most of Endgame because if they showed you like the time hopping, that would have been ruined.
They even showed shots in the trailer that had stuff edited out.
Exactly.
Like they edited the Smart Hulk out of like the shot of all of them walking in their white and red time jumping suits. They edited out the Smart Hulk. They edited out like I forgot who else they edited out of there. There was like one other person that was in there that.
But I mean, yeah, that's how you know. Like that's how you know this thing has been pushed by Sony, has been marketed by Sony, and not Marvel and Disney, because Marvel and Disney keeps this stuff down on lock. None of their other movies do you ever hear like leaks and stuff about.
What do you think they do to people?
That was it. They edited out Fat Thor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you think that Marvel and Disney, like I remember going to New York Comic Con and I was at a Marvel panel for just like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff, like nothing even that severe. And we were on the ground and there were men in suits with electronic device trackers that would walk up and down the aisles to detect if you were using your phone. You couldn't have your phone out. And then there were men in the balcony above us looking down at us with like laser thingies to see if they had
sniper scope.
Like, I'm not even kidding. And that was for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That was for like they showed us an episode.
We got a cell phone in seat B23. Take them
literally,
out.
And they would take it from you and erase it. I'm not even kidding. So
he's
it's
in
like,
all black, wearing glasses with spiky hair. Just take him out.
Crazy.
That's how I had a fun trip for an entire weekend.
Is Marvel making any money off of this movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so then I don't think it was intentional.
It's a shared partnership with Sony. We don't know these specific details. Typically, like Marvel produces the movie for the most part, and they get a major part of the money back. They also get a major part of like the toys and merchandise sold. Sony handles all the advertising for the most part.
If Marvel's money is in this production-wise, then I don't think they would release these things via some, crappy Photoshop photos. They leaked Deadpool's thing, but I think that was intentional.
That was done on purpose, yeah.
Yeah, because that was also good quality, and it was like, here's a video for y'all to talk about. Now you can, make us do it because we want to do it, and Ryan Reynolds wants to do it. That felt intentional. This feels silly.
But you haven't seen any leaks from Marvel at all. They've all just come from Sony and Sony projects.
Yeah, they keep it down on lock. Sony is just really bad at their stuff slipping all the time. So that leads me to saying I'm joking. I'm not serious. I wouldn't be surprised if that was something like in the deep, dark, closed off rooms that, someone in Sony was like,
The dungeons of Sony.
Let's play this game with the internet. But I also...
That's got to be a fun job.
I also think the likelihood is that they're just bad at keeping stuff locked down, and the stuff just slips out by accident. As we've seen before, like with the North Korea hacks and stuff.
Have you seen stuff slip out on accident?
So I'm going to continue moving on from that comment. God dang it, Tori.
I do want to get everyone's opinion. This is an awesome thumbnail, isn't it?
Oh my God.
Dude, it's just find it.
I thought it up last night. So we were hanging out with some friends last night, and all of a sudden I was like, dude, we're going to talk about like the Spider-Man leaks. What if we got a picture of Spider-Man taking a leak? I was like, I need a picture of the back of Spider-Man and a row of urinals.
Where'd you
and
get
like
the back
I
of
just
Spider-Man?
immediately started do what?
Where'd you get the back of him?
It was that was an image from a website that was selling costumes, various Spider-Man costumes, and they showed like the front, the side, and then the back. So I just grabbed the image of the back and of course like did all the photoshopping stuff to it to
Yeah. Your art is good. Great job. You made a great thumbnail. Cool.
Thank you. It was fun.
So we'll say the couple images that came out, they're all over Twitter. I don't know if you guys have seen them. We're not going to show the images at all because we ain't going to do that. But it definitely reveals a lot of stuff if they're real, which I personally think they're real. They strike me as pretty realistic. There's just way too much work and way too much effort that would have to go into recreating these images. And when I say that, I mean it's damn near impossible to recreate some of the stuff that's in these images if that were the case.
So you've seen them?
I've seen them, yeah.
I haven't seen them.
But there's also like the thing with these images is there's nothing in these images. We didn't already have a very strong suspicion was in the movie already.
Yeah.
Like obviously we'll say one image is of the three of them, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland. We already have a very strong suspicion that is happening. So this really isn't like confirming or denying anything. We're like, yeah, we're expecting that.
Cool. Knew that was going to happen in the movie. The other one I'll probably won't say what was in the other one just because that one isn't as strong.
Not as strong, but it is very similar in the same vein. It was kind of already.
Yeah, it's an image that is taken from something that we've heard Tom Holland already mention about a scene where there's 4 people sitting at a table. Happy, Aunt May, him, and one other character. The one other character is an interesting character that I really, and I know a lot of other people would be really happy to see pop up in this movie. So that is what the other image is that other character. So we saw a lot of this happen. I believe was it did they come out yesterday or the day before? But
yesterday.
Yeah, it's been a little over a day now.
So an individual who's in the movie space, he's got his own YouTube show and everything. Posted these up on his Twitter account. Y'all may know him, John Campia. He posted these up on his Twitter account, and immediately, shortly thereafter, after getting messages that these images might be real, he deleted the tweets, took them down. But of course, once something's on the internet, it's on the internet forever. It doesn't matter if you delete the tweet.
So the boomers say about Snapchats.
Well, I mean, there's Snapchat, so it's a little bit different. Maybe. Anyway, not really. So a lot of this stuff, once it's up, you got screen grabs and everything have already been taken of it all. There's an interesting piece, though, that was added to it today. We've only heard Campia say this himself, so we're not certain whether or not this is, corroborated by the actual studio because it hasn't been yet.
And they're probably not going to.
And if they're smart, they won't because
that
them
just confirms it.
So essentially what it was is that Sony, he claims that Sony has reached out to him and with the inquiry of who gave him the pictures that he posted, who leaked it to him essentially. Because John Campia doesn't have access to these things. He's a Twitter film pundit.
Can I say, because I watched Campia's video, can I say the quote that he claims the studio said to him? Because it's pretty interesting. Because we were talking about like how they have it on Fort Knox. He's quoting John Campia. He said that one of the agents that called him said, I don't think you did this intentionally. If you stole the Mona Lisa, you wouldn't put your card on it, would you? Because if you look at the original images, he put his watermark on it, which like people commonly do, so that like if it gets shared on Twitter, it has like a origin point so that they can get it can be connected back to them. Oh my God, there's more girls here.
Yep, getting rid of them.
Girls.
I am getting rid of the women. Get them out of there.
No more women.
No more women.
I thought it was interesting that they're like,
go on, Lola.
You did this because you wouldn't do that, would you? Like very like cop-esque of like,
good cop, bad cop.
You wouldn't go and steal this, right? Like,
So like the what's the anti-theft ads at the beginning of like videos? Like you wouldn't steal a car, you wouldn't steal the groceries.
It's very
Why are you stealing movies? Illegal downloading is stealing. Like,
yeah, it's like you wouldn't have murdered your wife, right?
Yeah,
that'd be a little weird.
Dang.
You wouldn't assassinate a government leader.
Yeah, if you did.
No, I wouldn't.
Then
don't leak images either. Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you did, we know where you live. We'll come find you. That's kind of what it sounded like.
That's comparing apples to big ass apples.
You wouldn't plant a bomb in a park that's frequented by mostly children every day of the week, would you?
Why would you leak?
Spider-Man images? Man,
everybody
in the government's coming down on our YouTube video right now because of the things that we just said.
One thing I do want to ask that this kind of brings up a side thing, and this might be something we dive into more later. But between the leaks for this, and then there was also the weeks ago, like a lot of the news outlets were all leaking what happens in the mid credits of Eternals. And like again, I didn't see it from Variety. I saw it from another news media that had a sponsored, paid for ad on Facebook. That's right. I was scrolling on Facebook for some weird reason, and I just happened to glance upon it. It's nothing that you have to click on to see the spoiler. It just had it flat out there right on the main feed. Yeah. So where is it where these media outlets, these media pundits, people in this industry are giving up the images, the secrets, the spoilers for the clicks? Like they're doing it just so you click on it, so you read, you subscribe, you follow. They're doing it for the notoriety, basically. Like where do you draw the line at this? Like I feel like that if everyone was doing this, that's not someone who I'd want to read or follow anymore.
No. I don't think it's someone we would support, and we don't support. But I will say, as someone who has a lot of people in my life who aren't into like films in the same way, they're not in like film space. There are genuinely people who do not care about spoilers. I don't know why all of my ex-boyfriends are these people, but like they would literally Google everything about a movie before they'd watch it. My best friend's girlfriend does this. If they're like, "Oh, you want to put on Eternals?" She's like, "Sure." And then she Googles everything about it, including the plot and YouTube videos about it. So there's those people. I don't know exactly what the percentage is, if those are like a majority or if we're the majority or if most people just don't care. But I do think a lot of those sites not only do it for clicks, but also do it because there are people who just want that stuff. And so then it's hard because if, my ex-boyfriends and my friend's girlfriend want spoilers, they're gonna get sold to like a website's gonna give it to them because money and clicks. But I do think it's a weird trust issue, and it sucks when you see something you don't want to see because you can't take it back. Like if it's an article, you can be like, okay, I'm not going to read the article. But if the headline of the article is werewolf shows up in Eternals and eats Hulk and Batman rides whatever, like. Then
wait, you saw Eternals? I thought you hadn't seen Eternals.
Yeah, I saw it.
How the hell did you know that?
I saw it. But yeah, so I will say that I do think sometimes, like, I just remember, talking to people all throughout my life, and I ran into people and I never understood it. I like to go into things like Dune. I had no idea what it was about. I love doing that because to me, I like being surprised. But I have met so many people who want to know everything about it as soon as they can.
Yeah.
I don't get those people, but I think that's part of the reason why it keeps happening. Is that there are people who are like, "Ooh, look at this, mom! Look at this."
I mean, it's definitely the culture we're in. Where like, yeah, so many people just want all the details of any Marvel project coming out, and so it's information sells. It's the information sells aspect. It's, you know, we've got information. You want the information? Give us the money for the information, kind of a thing. And I think that's why you keep seeing. That's definitely why you keep seeing these leaks and stuff like that, for sure.
There's people who read the last page of a book first. Who are they? It's like,
Why?
they just like it. I don't know.
There are certain movies. The thing about movies is that a lot of these are supposed to play out a specific way. A reveal or something that is otherwise deemed a spoiler is supposed to be given to you at a certain time within the story. It's not supposed to be just handed to you front and center. So I don't understand people who want things spoiled for them in terms of like movies and stuff, because it's breaking down and ruining the storyteller's method of giving you the story, of providing you the art. It's just it doesn't make any sense to me. But
That's how
I did see these Spider-Man images, so you know.
Yeah, it's like even with Django Unchained, it's like, you know, if I showed you the scene where, you know, it's the climax of the movie right away, as a spoiler, you're not supposed to see that until you've seen 3/4 of the movie that like preps you into these characters so that you get into that scene and you feel satisfied because you're like, thank you. I've been waiting for someone to just shoot this guy. And so I agree with you. Yeah. I think timing is essential.
We got Kevin Feige, who's probably losing his mind over all this. You know who's actually probably the most easygoing about all of this right now?
Tobey Maguire.
Tom Holland.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because Tom Holland's like, I didn't do it.
It ain't my fault.
It ain't
my fault this time.
I didn't say shit.
Maybe it is.
I know. Yeah, what Tom Holland is like this is his him auditioning for James Bond or something. He'll be the next James Bond, and you're like, well, how can we take you as a spy? Like, I'm the one that leaked all the Sony Spider-Man stuff. Well, I would guess that.
I would love to find out that that's true. That would be amazing. That would be the best thing in the world.
And also make him James Bond.
Yeah, right.
He's too boyish.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it would be the kid James Bond. So we're starting young, and he will just play James Bond for the rest of his life.
Nobody wants older than me.
Tom Holland?
No, I don't think so. Actually, no. Yeah, I think he is like 24, 25.
25? How?
He's close to the same age. Yeah. So we also got a Streamlab from Brennan Marr. 25. He said, hello there, folks. One project that I hope we get more information about on Friday, talking about Disney Plus Day, is the Willow sequel series. Are you excited for the show or not? I'd love to hear your thoughts. You are all awesome. Thank you, Brennan.
Thank you.
Willow was like the first, as far as I remember, I think it was like the first movie I saw in the theater, although it may have been Follow That Bird. I can't remember. So I do remember seeing Willow in the theater, and it freaking me out. Because there's a part like where he cuts like this troll, and the troll like splits open. You see like insides, and then the troll falls off a bridge and then turns into this giant like two-headed dragon. So that one was freaky. Again, I was like a kid at the time, so couldn't figure that out. And then there was a part towards the end where Val Kilmer's character Mad Mardigan gets turned into a pig, and we see him like with his head down, and then all of a sudden you see him like look up at the camera. He's like straight like pig snout, and I was like, oh, like it was just way too weird for my little childhood mind to process. Needless to say, I have not watched Willow ever since then, and so probably not that interested in the TV show, although I probably will go back and watch Willow because I seriously doubt it's going to disturb me at all. But
no, it won't. Yeah, I also never got into Willow, so My excitement is at a 0. I just don't care as much.
I didn't know it existed.
Well, that tracks.
So appreciate the question, Brennan. I hope we answered it satisfactorily.
Glad we're all
Maybe I'll
anxious
watch
to-
it and I'll twit about it. You know,
She'll tweet about it.
Mhm. There's some
so-
movies I swear like I've never heard of in my whole life, and then all of a sudden people are like Dune. And I'm like, y'all, where? What?
Dune.
Dune.
Why is Dune?
I'll do you one better.
Dune.
Why is Dune?
How is
I
Dune?
can't wait.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do like an end of the year favorite movies thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Typically we do.
I'm gonna have to have some Dune drama because it's not gonna be on my list.
That's okay.
Anyway, so that does lead us back into let's cover again. This coming Friday is Disney Plus Day, so there will be all the Disney Plus announcements. Instead of us having like to wait until Tagline of next week, although we probably will still talk about some of it on Tagline, we will be doing the Marquee this Saturday. It is the Marquee, the Mouseketeers. We will be tier ranking. Probably a good amount of the announcements. Again, we're not
Uh-huh.
Disney insiders, so we have no idea what exactly to expect.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, but we will be ranking their news as to like say S tier is the thing that we're most excited looking forward to. So that will be this weekend, this coming Saturday, the 13th. That'll be at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. Those of y'all who've seen the Marquee before, you've seen us do like horror movies. We're outside of October. We're going to start doing Marquee episodes about stuff that's non-horror, but we will come back for horror every once in a while, just because
Which
it's
means
a fun one.
I'm finally going to be on a Marquee episode. Yay!
Yes, so make sure y'all check out everything Disney Plus Day has to offer on Friday, and then come back Saturday night as we talk about some of it on the Marquee.
I bet you were gonna have a Spider-Man trailer.
I doubt it, just because this seems like this is going to be focused on Disney Plus, like stuff that's going to Disney Plus. So it's probably not going to be hyping up a Sony project too much.
Oh, you don't think there's any characters that they might do something with?
Why are we whispering? Are you afraid Kevin Feige's going to...
related to the leaks.
Oh, okay.
No.
We should do it like this. Every time you want to talk about something in a whisper, we'll just put this image up.
Can we quickly say what we would love to see? Like one thing, I would love to see a Blade trailer or something. A girl.
They
can
haven't
have
even
dreams.
started filming that yet.
A girl can have dreams.
Oh yeah. Girls can.
You'll get your
Guys
Blade
can-
trailer next year.
Yeah, I'm expecting more of like what TV shows are going to be announced. Maybe like there might be some movies announced in there, but it will probably be movies that very likely will go straight to Disney Plus.
I'm not a TV show girl.
Yeah,
Unless
we'll
they
see.
give is it Yolanda, Black Widow's sister?
Yelena.
Yelena, unless she gets a show. I'll be excited about that.
I don't know if Florence Pugh is quite ready to do that yet. Like her popping into Hawkeye a couple of times, maybe, but
You don't think she's ready?
not that she's not ready. It's just that she's doing so well in the movie space right now. She may want to keep her focus on doing movies.
Give her a little 6-episode
We're
summer
in
stint.
we're in a different time now with regard to like TV shows and stuff with all the streaming and whatnot, that movie stars are like jumping straight into the pool of streaming television shows because you can do so much more with TV now than you could before. So I would think that they would want to save her for like a Black Widow too.
Mm-hmm.
And let her be like the front and center for a Black Widow too. But I could also see them doing like a Dark Avengers or New Avengers or some kind of Avengers storyline with her, like on the Disney Plus on the TV side. So
Yeah.
This
This is probably the biggest thing that I think is going to happen on Disney Plus Day.
yeah,
We'll get that Obi-Wan trailer.
yep.
You think we'll get a Love and Thunder trailer?
Probably not.
It comes
Again,
out.
anything that's a big movie is probably not going to be shown on this
on Disney Plus
because they're not going to Disney Plus; they're going to theaters.
It'll be more of a focus of what is Disney Plus going to showcase in effort to get more subscribers to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So kind of like that Investor Day, but now it's like we're showing the investors what is going to Disney Plus. So
Fine.
Again, other things real quick for upcoming shows. We talked about we're going to do reviews of the Hawkeye show when it comes out. We're just going to be doing it on Tagline like we did with What If. So that is going to be coming up. For patrons, if you're at the $5 due tier, we are moving the King Richard watch along from the 19th. It is being moved to Monday, the 22nd at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. So if you have access to HBO Max and you are on our Discord at the $5 patron tier, I guess I don't know if there's a way to fix that. Whatever, we'll figure it out. But yeah, you can hop on our Discord and join us for that movie watch along at that time as well. So.
Yep, it's gonna be fun. It's a new release, King Richard. We're all watching it for the first time together, so it'd be good.
Yeah, I don't know who King Richard is, so we'll see.
Venus is Serena Williams.
Papa.
Faja.
Faja.
Played by Will Smith. So this will be a really good looking movie. Otherwise, what else do we have going on? Anything else we want to quickly plug before the end of this?
I think we got everything for right now. As far as anything anybody needs to be caught up on with regard to the channel, but other than that,
Chris Evans, MLP on Twitch.
look at Tori. Look at Tori.
So yeah, everyone plug. Chris, go ahead, plug.
So you can find me Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, and Twitch at Chris Adams MLP. I do a lot of streaming over there right now, so come hang out with me. We're
you do a lot of streaming over there?
Well, I'm trying to do a lot of streaming. I haven't done
You do
a lot of
a lot of
streaming the last
leaking?
couple of weeks.
You do a lot of leaking?
Every hour and a half to 2 hours or so, I've been, doing a little bit of leaking. But other than that,
He's a regular leaker.
Is that how
Other
often
than
you go?
when I'm just sitting here playing video games, yeah,
Probably.
just drinking a bunch of water. Yeah. Stay hydrated,
Tori
folks.
X Rose, Instagram, Twitter.
Hydrate or dihydrate? Yes. Tori X Rose.
Twitter and Instagram. I'm funny sometimes, maybe not. Who knows?
All the time.
Yeah, your stuff is pretty funny.
All the freaking
I liked
time.
my New Yorker tweet today. Didn't get enough love.
See, for me, you can follow me at Robert Adams MLP, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. You can also see me probably here in a little bit. I will hop over to a Fans View, Vernon's YouTube channel, to watch some movies, some silly movies. So,
Silly movies.
yeah, come join us over there. That will be a watch along, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Nice little
You
hangout.
love girls and webcams.
Feel free to watch our chat, because apparently our chat is full of girls and webcams.
Tori
Oh my
X
gosh.
Rose, Twitter, Instagram.
Tori, stop it.
The two are maybe unrelated. I don't know. Well, I mean, you are a
If I
girl on a
started
webcam right now,
business, I
so
would make bank. I would make bank.
I'll say you're a girl on a webcam right now. So yeah, if you want to watch girls on webcams, you're at the right place, because we have one.
Who else? I don't see Amaranth with a frog. No diss, girl. No diss, but she doesn't.
You need to start the website only for
Not yet. There's
Not
not
yet.
a frog meta. There's not a frog meta for the stuff that she does on Twitch quite yet, but
I'll buy the website frog.com, and when anyone types it in, it's just me on a webcam.
That's gonna be like one of those, like that's the one where people are gonna be like, man, have you ever heard of that website, the Mr. Feets or whatever type of thing? You're like, yeah, don't ever Google that. And you're like, no, you got to look up frog.com.
I
This is
looked
a
up
wild website.
frog.com, and do you know what it is?
Is it like
Porn?
hamsterdance.com, where it's just like little gifs of frogs dancing?
It's a
around?
frog publication company for schools, teachers, and parents.
okay.
See,
so
I
it's like-
think you could do better with that domain than that.
Right?
So you
look
need
up
to like write them.
froggy.com.
Write them and say, you need to give up this domain because I could do better than what you're doing with it. You are a waste of a domain doing this. I could be putting out the frog content that the viewers want to see and they're clamoring for.
Oh, I see. Okay. Froggy.com is an artist.
Oh.
Guys, let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
We appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight, stopping by on the tagline, watching us do this crazy shenanigans, whatever we're doing here. We hope you guys come back next week. Same tagline place, same tagline
channel. Yeah. Make sure you comment down below if you're watching this on a replay. Tell us what you think. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. As for myself, as for my brother, and as for Tori Rose, y'all all have a great evening. Thank you for watching and hanging out. We will see y'all later. Good night.
Yours.
The hell was that? Y'all are really